morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today I come to you with news of the strangest Pokemon card ever. And no, I don't think that's an exaggeration. This is, in a very literal, non-clickbaity sense of the word, the strangest Pokemon card ever, because it's not a Pokemon, it's a human. But it's been printed as a Pokemon card. Now, yes, I know technically we've had a couple of Pokemon human cards before, but they don't really count. We've shown you before the Ichihara card, that is obviously of the president of the Pokemon Company, and we've talked about that, and we've done a video about it, and it's kind of lovely. I showed you the Doug Ferguson card, which was Doug Ferguson GX, which was given out to Doug Ferguson, an employee of the Pokemon Company. But these are special promo cards, and they're oversized, and they're not supposed to, I think they're oversized, and they're not actually supposed to be given out to anyone, and they don't really count, alright? They don't really count. Now, we did actually get a proper human Pokemon card a little while ago. It was Sachiko Mega EX, or Mega Sachiko EX, and this was given out as a very limited card over in Japan. Essentially, if you went to a 20th anniversary countdown event in Tokyo in 2016, you would get given one of these cards. But you had to enter by a lottery and only 100 people were selected, so there's only actually 100 of these out there, unless more were given out that I'm unaware of. But this doesn't actually count, because there was no Sachiko EX. There was only ever the Mega, so it was never intended to be played, and that doesn't really count. Honestly, the closest we ever got to an actual non-Pokemon Pokemon card was Buried Fossil. And I know that Buried Fossil might not look too much on the face of it, but it's an actual Pokemon card. We've seen plenty of fossil cards in the past, but Buried Fossil from the Skyridge expansion was an actual factual Pokemon card that was fossils. And I say all of this as an intro to the fact that we are getting Koko from the upcoming Zarude movie as an actual Pokemon card. Not as a trainer card, not as a supporter card, as an actual trainer card. It's coming as a promo in the upcoming CoroCoro magazine. And until we're told otherwise, and as I'm led to believe at the moment, we have not been told otherwise, this will be legal for tournament play. This will actually, genuinely, legitimately be legal for tournament play. And that's why Mega Sachiko doesn't really count for me, because that never was. Nor was it ever intended to be. This is. Now, there is every possibility that an errata comes down, and it's made not legal for tournament play. But as it stands at the moment, it is. Now, we do have kind of a parallel, not in terms of a human Pokemon card, but in terms of a Japanese card which is kind of legal but shouldn't be. A couple of years ago at Worlds, we had that Psychic Tapu Lele. Now, we were never told properly, but the story we essentially got for it was that it was in a product that, due to production issues with pins, was actually delayed. So we were supposed to get it, but let's just say we didn't get it for a very long time. So we got to the World Championships, and this card was not supposed to be legal, but no one had actually made it not legal for tournament play. So it was legal. And there was kind of a day of the World Championships where Japanese players, where this had been released, had this card and were able to use it, before it kind of got shut down for the second day. It was a kind of a weird situation. The card did actually get reprinted as a fairy Pokemon in Lost Thunder, but there was that year of Worlds where it wasn't supposed to be legal, but it totally ended up being legal. Well, now we've got Koko. And Koko is an actual, factual, human that has been printed as a Pokemon card. Yes, there is Zarude on the artwork. No, this is not a Zarude card. This is a Koko card. This is one of the weirdest things. Last time I was weirded out by a card this much was when I realized that the Weeping Bell from the Jungle expansion has an actual non-Pokemon bird in the artwork. Yeah, that's a weird one. So, This is coming out in Korokoro magazine. What does it actually do? Well, the lovely Matthew Varive, Immunity over on Twitter, has been kind enough to let me know the translation. And straight off the bat, I can tell you that one of these attack names is definitely getting renamed. It ain't gonna work, ladies and gentlemen. It ain't gonna work. So what we've got here then is a grass, quote-unquote, Pokemon with 90 HP, which is moderately low, a retreat cost of 1, which means you can get free retreat with U-turn board, and a weakness to fire, which is actually kind of annoying, because remember that Volcanion from Unbroken Bonds, which is seeing a lot of play in fire decks, for 2 fire energy, or to put it another way, 1 welder, does 50 damage, and with the weakness will get a KO. Being a grass Pokemon, however, you are hitting weakness on some stuff. My boy Excadrill is out there. But honestly, at the moment, we're not seeing a huge problem with weakness to grass. Now, to be fair, Colossal V Max is coming in a not too distant future, and that's weak to grass. And Colossal V is as well. So maybe this will start being kind of relevant. We might finally have a relevant grass weak Pokemon. Now, the first attack here is not particularly relevant. You search your deck for a grass Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. It's fine, but it's not particularly exciting. It's not like the older Alolan Vulpix that for 0 energy let you search for any 2 Pokemon. That was a great card, but firstly it was 2 Pokemon, and secondly it was 0 energy. The huge difference being that you could use your energy attachment for the turn to retreat whatever you started with and still use Beacon. That was the big difference, quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen. That was a big difference. So this isn't a particularly good attack, unfortunately. You'll use it occasionally, I suppose, if you're desperate. But let's make no bones about it. This is an, man, it's turn 1 and I've got nothing. But this is in the active. Maybe I can use this kind of attack. It's not one we're actually going to be getting even remotely excited about. But the second attack ain't too bad at all. The second attack here for free energy does 2 grass and 1 colorless, does 120 damage, but you got to flip a coin, and if tails, the attack does nothing. It's also called Tarzan Kick. There is no chance whatsoever, if we get an English release of this card, and I am apprehensive as to whether we will get an English release of this card. But if we do get an English release of this card, there's no way it's going to be Tarzan Kick, because Tarzan is a fictional character, and if you look at the kind of naming conventions Pokemon have had, this just does not fit their MO. Not outside of Japan. So, yeah, I feel very confident it's not going to be called Tarzan Kick over here. And the thing is, free energy, 120 damage on a basic Pokemon is actually pretty good. Like, if we look at Sword and Shield On, which is going to be the format we hit when we get to September, we've actually not seen any other Pokemon that can do this for a single prize. Butterfree V can do it, but Butterfree V is a 2-prize Pokemon. And Delmise can actually hit 200, but again, that's a 2-prize Pokemon. If you want a single-prize Pokemon to hit damage like this is the best we've got. Now, I suppose I should mention Maractus, because there is a Maractus came around in Sword and Shield that lets you flip a coin for each energy attached to this Pokemon and does 60 for each heads. But you got to hit 2 heads in order to actually make this work. So, without wanting to sound mean, I do feel fairly confident that this is better than Maractus. Now, it is on a coin flip, although remember that Glimwood Tanga will give you a 75% chance, a 3 in 4 chance of actually hitting a heads here, which is pretty sweet. But the fact of the matter is, if you want to hit kind of 120, which, yes, is enough to one-hit KO a Colossal V, with a basic, single-prize grass Pokemon, this is genuinely, actually, legitimately the best option we've got. Now, the coin flip is going to put some people off, maybe too many people, and that's an absolutely fair point. But in terms of damage to energy ratio on a basic single-prize Pokemon, this is actually number 1. Like, this is a genuinely relevant, potentially, Pokemon, quote-unquote. And this is what makes this such an interesting story for me. Because if this was absolute, unplayable, unmitigated garbage, it wouldn't even be particularly relevant. I'm not saying this is a great card. For what it's worth, it's a free Wassy card. Free Wassies because you might want to put a copy in your deck. If it wasn't flippy, it'd probably be higher. It would definitely be higher. But the fact of the matter is that actually what we've got here is a Pokemon that does relevant damage for a decent amount of energy, and when you bear in mind that Rillaboom will accelerate 2 energy with its ability, and Zarude V will accelerate 2 energy when it attacks, and we've got stuff like Turbo Patch as well, there are plenty of ways to get Coco up and rolling in terms of the energy here. This is not a terrible card. I'm not saying it's a great card. I am saying it is not a terrible card. And that's so weird to me. So weird. When I told you this was like the strangest Pokemon card ever, I do feel like I've shown my working. I do feel like I've kind of, QED. I've proven what I set out to prove because it's a human. And although we've seen a couple of parallels in the past, we have not seen anything on this level. It is super weird. And I know a lot of people have said it shouldn't be legal for tournament play, and I've seen some people suggest that it won't be. But let's be super clear, Korokoro promos are always legal for tournament play. We will need to be given a reason why they're not if they're not, and as it stands at the moment, we don't have one. This is weird. And I'd like to know your take on it, so let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at The Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.